I'm delighted to have Lena McGrath from People Plus. She has a great job title, Head of Social Recruitment. And to me, at the core of what People Plus do is about social recruitment, I suppose. And Lena has a real key part to play in all of this. So hopefully, if people have been watching or listening from the first podcast where Arlene and introduce People Plus in Scotland and what they do, we're now going to focus on a little bit more on what's called the Social Recruitment Framework, also known as the SRF. So, Lena, thank you very much for joining me today.
Welcome. Nice to be here.
Good. So, you've your SRF. It's a term that we've used quite a lot here at Brightwork in Scotland, and we've been offering the services of People Plus and SRF and some of your partners in some of our sites. So it would be great to have a little bit of an understanding of what SRF is, social recruitment.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So it was a new concept that was born in 2019. And in principle, it was about the fact that People Plus was delivering such high quality training over here. And we had the abundance of vacancies with Staffline over here. And there wasn't anything that was really connecting the two. And we knew that we were delivering at People Plus these training programs for candidates with the view to get them into work. And it seems such a fantastic opportunity to make that connection. So Staffline agreed to start sharing their vacancies with us, which includes Brightwork in Scotland as well. And what we were able to do is use that vacancy intelligence to then advertise the courses for candidates. So the candidates knew at the end of it that they had a guaranteed interview. So from a candidate perspective, it was just a win situation. Obviously, the provider can draw down funding, so it's a win for them. But then equally, Brightwork and Staffline get a trained candidate going into work. And, you know, with all the intention is that they are the most high quality trained candidate who will go into work and hopefully sustain work at Brightwork and at Staffline.
So you just mentioned that term of win-win situations, and it sounds like it's a big win for the candidates. So tell me the types of candidates in your experience, what those types of workers, where are they coming from, and you know, any.
So I mean, it's changed a lot, obviously, over the past year. So the candidates that we're seeing now are candidates that may have been impacted by COVID. So not necessarily long-term employed. That's not to say that we don't still work with the long-term employed, hard to reach youth offenders, etc. However, we've seen a slight shift in the clientele. So it could be that they were made redundant from hospitality or retail during the COVID period and just needed a small amount of upskilling so they could attend a short course and then move hopefully swiftly into work. But we still obviously support long-term unemployed, work with job centres, referral agencies, but we also use Facebook to advertise to get candidates onto the courses as well. So really, it's a great opportunity, whether you are long-term unemployed, you might need a little bit more extra help, or if you're just looking for that quick upskill, then the network can help with you either way.
And tell me, you talk about this, the programme offering training. So I obviously I understand a little bit about this process, but you know, this is where the vacancies that we might have at Brightwork in Scotland, or the vacancies we do have, are you are now working into filling some of those vacancies, but you're providing training for those workers. So what kind of training would you put in place?
It very much depends on what the end job is. So if it's a warehouse operative role, then we would deliver, or the network would deliver, a warehousing principles qualification. If it's a food production, then we would look at food hygiene or health and safety. And in all intents and purposes, we can bespoke the training. We've got such an array of qualifications and courses that we can deliver across the network. So we've got 35 training providers on the network. So there's a huge scope to be able to bespoke whatever the employer wants, but we tend to look at what the job role is and then decide the training based on that.
So for example, if it was a food or drink manufacturing company, you could put in food and hygiene handling course and that type of thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So effectively you're upskilling the candidate to make them, helping them be work ready in a role that's what they would have done before and giving them that skill
Yeah.
set that they wouldn't have had.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, we support them with interview skills. They may not have a CV, so we'll help them with that. Communication, teamwork. So that sort of whole wraparound sort of transferable skills alongside whatever it is that job is going, the skills they'll need for that job at the end of it.
Wow, okay, right. Interesting, really interesting. And you're really helping us. Now I can understand the terminologies, the social recruitment framework, because it's a socially responsible part of our business that supports those who need that help the most. And we can, by working in conjunction with the recruitment arm of Staffline Group, i.e. in Scotland, Brightwork, we're able to then get into work and hopefully give them the step into the working life that these people really, really need, where they've struggled before.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it is absolutely that. It's about those vulnerable groups, hard to help on occasion, and it's really about supporting those into work. And so the Social Recruitment Framework has never been there to replace the volumes that Brightwork and Staffline can get on a daily basis, and they do get, because of course there's a pool of candidates out there that are ready to work, and we would encourage those people to apply directly to Brightwork or to Staffline. We wouldn't want them to go on a course just for the sake of it. It needs to be purposeful and meaningful for those candidates. And from a provider perspective, they're drawing down public funds, so those candidates must be the right candidates to go onto that course, that they need the support and the help to move into the job at the end of it.
So can I ask you, Lena, as well, just as we come to a close here, Lena, just quickly, if somebody who's watching or listening and they are a candidate and they maybe feel that they're not ready to jump straight into, a job, it could be a bit, it's a food, drink, distribution, manufacturing environments are very different from, as you mentioned, hospitality or certain other sectors.
Sure.
If I'm what criteria would I need to meet to be able to approach People Plus and be put through the SRF?
So there's funding eligibility for different parts of the UK. So I would just recommend anybody to speak to their job coach at their job centre, and then they would be able to refer them to the vacancies, or to the training provider in that local area to put them on a suitable course. So there's certain age eligibility, and it differs across England, Scotland and Wales. So there's no one fits all. But my advice would be to speak to their job centre coach.
Okay. Simple as that, Lena.
Yeah.
Really, really insightful. And again, highlighting the partnership, I suppose, between two of the constituent parts of the Staffline Group, so People Plus and the recruitment arm, and in Scotland, that would be Brightwork.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've had some real success across Finsbury Foods, Albert Bartlett. We're doing some work with Maui at the moment as well, and we're hoping June that we can support some of the drinks industry that will start to hopefully open up and enter into a peak.
Fantastic. Great. Okay, Lena, you've been very insightful, so thank you so much for
Thank you. You're welcome.
I'm sure we'll have more conversation as time goes on, but thank you very much for taking part in the Skills and Work and Development podcast that we're running as part of Brightwork and People.
No problem at all. Thanks, Shan.
Thanks now. Okay, thanks now.